one of the responses that Jews usually have when you question Islamic immigration is they go, well, we're a community of immigrants. After the Holocaust, that's what built this community. And they kind of compare that and put it on the same level.
Last week, this guy, Avi Yamini, was on the shtick telling us about his invitation for Pauline Hanson to come and talk to a Jewish community group. As it turned out, his group decided not to proceed and it all fell apart, but not without some questions being raised. And one I had was, well, exactly what is the relationship between Hanson and the Jewish community here in Australia? So far, it's just this guy.
There's this view that's been out there that Pauline Hanson or the One Nation Party are somehow anti-Semitic. And nobody, when I ask everybody to, anybody that's said that to me, I challenge them, find me where they're not.
I was targeted years ago by the Jewish community, by the Jewish News. And they thought, and I want to clarify this now, they thought that I was against the Jews. I never have been, never ever made any comment against the Jews. I have never ever spoken out against the Jewish community or the people that live here in peace and harmony. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. So there's been a lot of misconception put out about me and what I'm supposed to stand for.
So there we have it, Pauline Hanson. Who'd have thought, a friend of the Jewish community here in Australia? I'm not sure most of the Jews in Australia want her as a friend. And that's quite understandably because many of her policies just don't rub well with most of us as Jews. However, there is one element about Islam, and of course radical Islam, and the rise of that, and perhaps the reasons for the rise of that, which does ring true with many Jews around the world. But if it weren't Pauline Hanson speaking to it, and more like the lady I'm about to introduce, which is Raheel Raza, perhaps One Nation may get more attention. Interestingly enough, this particular video appears on One Nation's website.
Almost every day, we are told that Islamist terrorism has nothing to do with Islam.
Muslims are peaceful and tolerant people and have nothing whatsoever to do with terrorism.
Al-Qaeda's cause is not Islam. ISIL is not Islamic.
And we are told that Muslims reject the extremists.
The overwhelming majority of Muslims reject that interpretation of Islam. It's very important for us to align ourselves with the 99.9% of Muslims who are looking for the same thing we're looking for.
But is it true that 99.9% of Muslims don't support extremism? What would you say if scientific polls by major research organizations have repeatedly shown a very different picture? I'm Raheel Raza. I'm a Sunni Muslim, and for the past 20 years I've dedicated my life to speaking out against the rising threat of radical Islam.
Hearing concerns about Islam from a Muslim lady herself is far more compelling than perhaps listening to the likes of Pauline Hanson. But inadvertently, what Yamini has done is given rise to the question of whether or not we are in fact addressing the rise of Islamic fundamentalism here in Australia, or whether we're just brushing it under the carpet for politically correct reasons.
Today, there are around 1.6 billion Muslims in the world. In fact, Islam is the world's fastest growing religion, and according to Pew Research, it will surpass Christianity this century. Now, obviously, not all Muslims are radical, but a certain percentage are. Sam Harris helps break it down for Ben Affleck and for all of us.
As you say, we have 1.5, 1.6 billion Muslims. Now,
second biggest religion in the world, a quarter.
Well, Ben, let me unpack this. Let me unpack this for you.
Please do.
We have just imagine some concentric circles here. You have at the center, you have jihadists. These are people who wake up in the morning wanting to kill apostates, wanting to die trying. They believe in paradise. They believe in martyrdom.
That's the first circle of radicals. Violent jihadists like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, Hezbollah, Hamas, and various lone wolves. These are the jihadists who murder people in San Bernardino, Texas, Paris, London, Delhi, Jerusalem, Ottawa, Madrid, Nairobi, Boston, and of course, New York. These are the horrible bad people, as Ben Affleck said. So how many violent jihadists are there? There are anywhere between 40,000 to 200,000 Muslims involved in fighting for ISIS across the world. That's just ISIS. And it doesn't include the hundreds of thousands of jihadis fighting for Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and other groups.
So here we have just a small minority of the Islamic world community, but all of whom would like to see the Jews dead. That's a concern for me as a Jew, and it's probably a concern for a lot of you who are watching who are not Jewish, because we do actually want to live together in peace, both with our Islamic friends, our Christian friends, and in fact, all religions. The problem is that if we ignore the likes of One Nation, and we ignore the words that they spread, we may well find that a lot of the Australian community become far more aggressive towards Islam in general than if we actually give people a sensible hearing. I'm proposing we actually have a speaker's corner in the heart of Melbourne where people from all nationalities and backgrounds can come and provide a diverse set of opinions, and perhaps then we'll start to see more understanding of what's important rather than just this post-truth world that both One Nation and so many other people are living in to scare the living bejeebers out of the national identity. Christmas and Hanukkah are on the same day. Well, over the same period of time. Anyway, the point is that we finally get to celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah together. Except, well, they're two completely different things. And, well, how do I express this? Perhaps if I showed you something where we personified Christmas and personified Hanukkah. In other words, imagine if Hanukkah was a person and Christmas was a person. Take a look.
They kind of call me the Festival of Lights. Check this out.
Ooh, I actually love lights too. Look.
Joy to the world.
As you know, Christmas is having a party next week.
Hi guys, I'm having a party. You're all invited.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
So we're all getting the day off, for company time.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Quick question. That's so great for you. I'm having to get together, as we know, the next few days. So, when will we get off for that?
Your thing, it changes every year.
It's fine. My thing will be great. It'll probably just be me and my parents again, but we have a great time.
On the first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day of Christmas.
So Mary had a baby, but get this, okay? Mary was a virgin. I know.
They put the oil in, okay? And they go, uh-oh. And it lasts for 8 days. I don't know if I'm telling it right. They all thought it would only last for 1, and then they're like, oh no, and it lasted for 8.
While we are playing
5 golden rings.
So you spin the dreidel, right? And you could get Gimel. Gimel, you get all of them. So you win the whole pot. That's so fun. None, you get none.
Mistletoe, okay? And you hang it up, and then you stand under it, and somebody makes out with you.
And then Shin, you put 1 in. So with Shin, you would lose 1.
Okay, can we get back to the work meeting though?
Okay, sure. Numbers are down.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Sorry, you're singing, and I can't work if you're singing.
I'm singing?
You're singing.
It's like breathing to me, I don't even notice.
I'm pretty sure it's too early.
Dashing through the snow.
I've been listening since November.
All the fields we go, laughing all the way.
1 for each night.
3 French hens.
They shed a sweet light
2 turtle doves.
to remind us of days long ago.
And a partridge in a pear tree.